Luke Skywalker was one of the most powerful Force users of all time, becoming a great Jedi Master after the Galactic Civil War. In the years following the Battle of Endor, Luke aided the fledgling New Republic in maintaining order across the galaxy and defeating Imperial remnants. Luke faced many battles, such as the resurgence of Grand Admiral Thrawn and his clash with the insane Dark Jedi clone Joruus C'baoth. After that, the resurrected Emperor Palpatine returned to the galaxy, forcing Luke to temporarily fall to the dark side in an attempt to destroy the darkness from within. After being redeemed by his friends, Luke formed the new Jedi Order in 11 ABY, establishing his Jedi Praxium on Yavin 4. Over the next several decades, Luke would study the power of the Force, growing stronger as he endured many conflicts like the Black Fleet Crisis, the Almanian Uprising, and the Yuuzhan Vong War, and eventually taking the title of Grand Master in 36 ABY. I want to examine Luke's Force powers across his lifetime, from his earliest training with Obi-Wan to his abilities as the master of his new Jedi Order. Inheriting immense strength in the Force from his father, Luke actually had the potential to rival Anakin, meaning that he had the ability to become what his father could have had he never been injured on Mustafar. Luke was gifted with the full Force potential of the Chosen One, which at his peak would have made him essentially a godlike being. Even when he was barely trained, Luke displayed remarkable strength in the Force, using its power to guide the proton torpedoes to destroy the first Death Star. 3 years later, he was able to build his own lightsaber using instructions left behind by Obi-Wan, successfully forming a synthetic crystal and aligning the components of the hilt. In later years, Luke became incredibly strong in more personal applications of the Force's power. After he was fatally wounded in a battle between the Singing Mountain clan and the Night Sisters, he was able to completely heal himself with the Force over the span of a few hours. He was proficient enough in Force speed that he could increase the speed of his lightsaber strikes to the point that time seemed to be in slow motion, and he felt as though the Force guided his movements in combat. Luke was also very skilled in telekinesis. During a food fight inside the Jedi Praxium, he was able to freeze every single piece and drop of food or drink in midair all at once, with everything only dropping once he consciously released it. Luke was also able to telekinetically absorb the blasts of an AT-AT's ion cannons, before destroying it with only the Force. In perhaps his greatest feat of telekinesis, Luke sustained and moved an artificial black hole with the Force during the Battle of Dantooine. Luke also mastered several rare and difficult Force abilities during his time forming the new Jedi Order. While searching for his first Jedi students, he was able to walk on lava and battle a fireworm simultaneously. Luke also trained to overcome the Force blindness that was caused by the Ysalamiri, a species that created bubbles within the Force as an adaptation against predators. In one of the greatest fights of his life, Luke was able to enter a plane within the Force known as Beyond Shadows, existing outside of time or space, and he used his power in the Force to defeat Abeloth with the help of Darth Krayt. In perhaps one of his most insanely powerful feats, during the Battle of Yuuzhan, Luke was able to consciously reach a state of oneness within the Force. While this state was usually reserved for those who had died and passed into the netherworld of the Force, Luke was able to enter this state at will, becoming an extension of the Force itself. He became a storm of luminous Force energy, exceeding physical existence in the battle. To those watching the battle, it looked as though Luke was a blur of 20 lightsabers engaging his enemies. Luke was also able to call upon the power of the light side, using his love for his son Ben and wife Mara Jade until the full power of the light side of the Force rushed into him, causing his cells to burst with power and his skin to glow. Luke used this ability in one of his confrontations with Abeloth. It's also worth noting that after Luke returned from the dark side of the Force, he realized that he was more powerful than he had ever been because he respected and understood the dangers of the dark side. Okay, so as you guys can tell, Luke's Force powers in Legends are absolutely insane. I can't even cover them all, so just consider these to be like the greatest hits. He was pretty overpowered, but only because he was the son of the Chosen One and he actually inherited Anakin's potential in the Force. So in the Legends books, basically across 30 years worth of stories and 100 or 2 books, Luke became more powerful than Anakin ever was. This is why most people will refer to Luke as the most powerful Force user of all time. And while that's never been explicitly stated that he is the most powerful Force user of all time, it's pretty much left up to opinion. George Lucas stated himself that Luke had the potential to become what Anakin never could, so it's up to you. Luke is absolutely one of the most powerful Force users for sure, but he could also very well be the most powerful of all time. Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and may the Force be with you.